Why did you start recording immediately? Okay, friends, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome so much to Plan a Trip Worth Talking About, exploring Texas through its stories, a virtual event hosted by the Friends of the Texas Historical Commission. Now, today we're going to be learning about Texas heritage trails and curating unique story-based travel itineraries for you and all your friends for this wonderful summer that's coming up. And I am happy that you chose to join us this evening. My name is Lorelei Gonzalez, and I'm with the Friends of the Texas Historical Commission. I am joined today by my colleague and friend and supporter, Olivia Green, the newest member of the Friends. Olivia, give us a wave. Hey.
Howdy, everyone.
Now, I am just going to go out on a limb here and suggest that you might all know about the Friends of the Texas Historical Commission. But if you don't, I wanted you to know that our mission as a nonprofit is to preserve the real places and real stories of Texas. And we are so glad to be able to share some of the folks that we do that with through our virtual events, specifically highlighting our colleagues in the Texas Historical Commission. Now, if you haven't signed up for following us on socials, Olivia is going to be dropping our socials in the chat, as well as links to join us for our other virtual events hosted for free every month. So you'll be able to see that in the chat. We encourage you to follow and subscribe. So I am pleased to introduce you today to our speaker, Sarah Page. Sarah, how are you doing this evening?
I am happy to be here and hanging in. How are y'all?
We are so glad you're here. Very pleased. So, for everyone who's joining us today, I wanted y'all to know that Sarah Page is a seeker of experiences. She is a people connector and a 36-year Texas tourism industry professional. She got her start in 1990 with a degree in tourism from Texas A&M. From there, she embarked on a career based on public service in many tourism roles along the way. Currently, Sarah is the Heritage Tourism Program Supervisor for the Texas Historical Commission, where she leads the team's capacity building and experience development efforts through a partnership with the Smithsonian's Museum on Main Street program and the Texas Historical Commission's award-winning Texas Heritage Trails program. Sarah is very active in tourism and economic development efforts and has served on several boards, commissions, and committees. Sarah enjoys testing new recipes, trying out local restaurants and watering holes, as well as finding creative ways to annoy her spouse. Please join me in welcoming Sarah Page.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. I appreciate that welcome, Lorelei. It's nice to see all of you here. I'm excited to present this to you. I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. They told me not to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. But I had bronchitis a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still trying to quit. It's not fun. So you may hear me clearing my throat, and I might have to mute myself at some point to have a coughing fit. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I tried to get it out of my system before we started. Um, all right. So I think without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we will get going. All right. All right. Can I have a thumbs up? Is everybody seeing that? Awesome. Excellent. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about planning a trip through Texas using our the state's official heritage tourism website called texastimetravel.com. And we'll talk to you about how to do that. And I'm going to walk through some things later, but we're going to talk about why our website is set up in regions and what the Texas Heritage Trails program has to do with these regions and with our website. So let's go ahead and get going. All right, so Texas is just chock full of stories, but not always the ones you expect, right? These aren't just places that you visit, they're places that you experience. And that's what heritage travel is all about. So whether it's touring some sort of historic site or going dancing at a historic Texas dance hall participating in some sort of a cultural fair or festival, or even just going to the beach. I mean, this can all be heritage travel. So let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. So we will talk about what the Heritage Trails program is a little bit, and how that program provides you with a structure to explore Texas, and then show you some tools to plan your next trip just in time for summer. And that will be when we do our texastimetravel.com walkthrough. So we'll get started real quickly. So I'm not going to explain the program. I'm just going to show you how to use it. So I think that's the best use of our time tonight. So what is heritage tourism? There are many different definitions, and we've got several official ones that we go by, but basically it all boils down to travel rooted in history, culture, and place. So you've probably done some or all of these activities, and you may not have even realized that you were engaging in heritage tourism when you did them. So maybe you were watching or participating in a demonstration of a historic way of life, like we have up here at the top left, learning how to grind probably corn in that picture. Or maybe you're enjoying a historic downtown or a Texas Main Street community, eating, shopping, taking in the scenes in downtown. Or maybe you're learning to do something that represents your culture or someone else's culture to get a better understanding of their way of life, like the tamale making that's happening here. Or it could be visiting a history museum to learn about the past in some sort of engaging and entertaining way. And there are lots of other ways, but these are just a few that kind of jump to mind. So, why does heritage tourism matter? Well, it matters a lot to the Texas Historical Commission, and we think it probably matters to you too. Um, and one way that it does that is that it connects the dots to people and place. It creates that connection. People are looking for experiences that feel real, places with character, stories, and a sense of identity. And it also supports local communities, and it impacts them in very important ways, especially small towns and across rural Texas. Heritage travelers do tend to stay longer when they visit. They explore more deeply and support local businesses along the way. And then finally, it supports preservation, which is our main goal here at the THC. When people experience these places firsthand, they begin to value them. And that awareness is often the first step towards protecting the stories, the traditions, and the historic places that make Texas unique. That old adage, you only protect what you know and you only know what you experience, really stands up here, I think. So I mentioned this at the beginning, but what is the Texas Heritage Trails program? Well, it is simply a program that includes 10 regions that cover the entire state and form a network of resources for promoting heritage tourism to travelers just like you. Each regional nonprofit organization has a board of directors and a paid executive director that carries out preservation and promotional activities within their regions. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the program here. That's kind of it in a nutshell. All right, these are the 10 regions of the Texas Heritage Trails. You see the 10 regions. There's 5 on the left, 5 on the right, and the map in the middle there that shows you where they're located. For those of you who have traveled in Texas before, you may have seen one or more of those blue signs pictured here along the highways as you drive along. They let you know what region you're in anywhere in the state. There's still about 10,000 of those signs out there in the wild, um, but the original trails themselves are no longer intact. I'm curious, for those of you watching from Texas, do you know what region you're in? If you do, feel free to just drop that in the chat. Just out of curiosity. I'll give you a second to do that. Are we getting some answers?
They
A
are
few?
starting to come in. We got Hill Country, Lakes, Independence Trail,
Yeah.
Lakes, Forest, Independence Trail, Hill Country, Mountains, Pecos.
Okay, we're getting almost all of them there. That's great.
All right.
Okay. All right, so what do these regions do? Um, they do a variety of things. They promote heritage travel in a lot of different ways. They do a lot of marketing and advertising and engaging directly with um, travelers just like you. This is two folks from our regions here at a consumer show where you can go and learn about places to visit. We've got Forts and Pecos represented in this picture. They support local communities. Um, they do this in many ways. Excuse me. Many of them have grant programs where they actually provide grant dollars to organizations within their regions to improve the facility or improve marketing or maybe add a sign where there wasn't one. So these are small grants, but they go a long way in these small rural communities. They also provide them with consulting services and educational opportunities to help them do more with what they're trying to promote locally. And they also can help develop visitor experiences. Here we've got our Brazos Trail region working with one of our state historic sites on an experience there where you can actually ride an old stagecoach there. So they can work with organizations within the communities that they represent to build on to something that they might already be offering to visitors, or perhaps develop something new that might be fun and exciting for you to experience. So here's kind of a brief history of the Texas Heritage Trails program. It's sort of an interesting entity, and it's had a few iterations along the way. It was actually created in its original form back in 1968 when Hemisphere was in San Antonio. And Governor Connolly at the time decided he wanted people not only to see San Antonio, but to get out and see the real Texas, right? So he wanted them to see everywhere that they could. So he worked with the Texas Department of Transportation to create driving trails that were thematic in nature. Some of them were based on geography, some based on some cultural or recreational resource that they were well known for. So those driving trails were created in the 60s, and those highway signs were put up all over the state. In 1998, after some years of just kind of the signs being up and nothing official happening, the Texas legislature asked the Texas Historical Commission to create a statewide heritage tourism program. And we thought, well, why reinvent the wheel when we've already got this structure? So we took it from literal loops and trails to regions, and we created a program based on that. Trail regions were added a couple or three at a time until about 2005 when we had completed the entire state, where the last region was added. And so today we've got a complete network of regions across the state that help you kind of chunk up Texas a little bit, because as we all know, it's a big place and it helps to kind of have things in bite-sized portions. So we literally went from linear driving trails to this regional concept, which allows you to do some flexible exploration and, like I said, kind of make your travel more manageable by making it more bite size. But where's the trail? We get this question all the time, y'all. I can't even tell you, but people ask us where's the hiking trail, or where are the maps to go hiking and things like that. You can do that for sure, but these are not hiking trails. They're not horse trails. They're not walking trails. These are based on driving trails, and we've encompassed those driving trails in the counties that were the trails were on and the counties inside and outside to create these regions. So no longer a trail, really. Um, we've gone to these connected stories across a region. And so this regional model lets us inspire travel through the use of connected storytelling. And most of those old trails are not completely drivable anymore. We've had new roads that got built, old roads that are no longer used. So you can follow the trail to a certain extent, but not fully. Let's talk a little bit about the partnership that the Texas Historical Commission has with our regions. And I promise this will all come into play later. The Historical Commission is the organization that provides statewide leadership. It's our program. And we have the background or the backbone of our state historic sites, of which there are now 43, I think, two. Okay, good. A lot, 40 something. And that's, a lot of our cultural heritage right there all over the state. And so they sort of form the backbone of our regions and what we do, in addition to many other sites and attractions. We also help provide the strategy and the organizing documents so that we're all singing off the same sheet of choir music. The regions, in turn, they have that local expertise. They are embedded within their region. They live and work in their region, and they know the organizations and the people behind them. So the three of us that work with the state office, we know a lot of people, but we don't know everybody. And so the regional executive directors are our boots on the ground, and they can connect us and they can connect other partners in the region to each other because they know them personally. They have those community relationships because, again, they live and work there. They're able to make those connections, and they know the partners that they need to work with and reach out to, and they're great at building those kinds of relationships. And because of their local expertise and those relationships, they've got that on the ground storytelling knowledge. They know all the great places. We email them constantly. Hey, we want to write a blog post on a certain topic. Who should we talk to? Who's the best person to tell us about this? And they know. They can send us that information at the drop of a hat. So it works pretty well. We make a great team. Now, why does all this matter to you? It matters because you have a more authentic experience because we're able to combine our knowledge and experience with theirs and provide that information and that storytelling to you to help you plan a trip. Your trips can become better connected because of those stories that we tell. They are often thematic in nature. So if you're interested in cowboys, you can see cowboys here, here, and here. But it allows you to break up your trip into more palatable bite sizes, which makes for much easier planning. That's getting annoying. I didn't realize it would be that bad. I thought I would quit. Okay, so how do you actually plan a trip? And why does that backbone of the Texas Heritage Trails program matter, and how does that come into play? So that's where I want to take you out and show you um, our Heritage Tourism website. This is for the entire state of Texas, and we call it texastimetravel.com. For those of you who are familiar, this will be a good review. And for those who have not seen the website before, we want you just to jump in and explore. I'm going to show you some things tonight that I think are probably the most relevant to you in trip planning. But just get in there and start digging, get lost, and follow those threads and see where it takes you. That's what we want you to do. So Texas Time Travel is where inspiration meets action. Okay, I'm going to jump out of this and jump over here. Are y'all seeing the homepage of the website? Okay, that's what you're supposed to see. So that's good. All right. So the homepage is where our welcome mat is, and it functions to pique your interest and send you off to the best places to get the information that you're looking for. I'll show you everything on the homepage in just a second, but I want to demonstrate a couple of things to you. We have here on the top right these three lines. We call that the hamburger menu. It kind of looks like a little hamburger. There's the bun and there's the meat in the middle. But this is your main navigation, and it will show up on every single page. So if you click that, These are all of our main landing pages. So you can explore the regions, you can explore by cultural heritage, travel by theme, plan your adventure, lots of different trip planning tools there. We have a great, really robust events calendar. We even have a new Texans page. So if you're brand new to Texas or if you're from out of state, this is where you might want to start to kind of get your feet wet a little bit. We've got our blog here at the bottom. So these plus marks actually expand so that you can see all the sub pages below the main landing page. So under Explore Regions, for example, these are the 10 Heritage Trail regions, and you can jump over to any one of those. All right, the other thing I want to show you, and I will show you on another page in a minute, this little star with the number 0 in it, that says saved when I hover above it, that is what we call our itinerary builder. It's not going to give you an actual day by day, time by time itinerary, but it will give you a list of things that you've saved that you're interested in, and they'll show up right here. And so I'll come back to that in a minute. Y'all remind me if I forget. But let's look at the home page. And I'll try to do this so you don't get seasick. So you can start here. Texas history is worth the trip. And you can start exploring. You can explore by region. So some of these things are going to be familiar to you because they are repeated up in that hamburger menu. Explore by region, find some events to do. I don't know what I want to do, and I want you to inspire me. So let's look here and see what some stories and hidden gems might be that could pique your imagination and get you interested. You could also click on Plan Your Adventure, which is, we saw that up above too. There are a lot of great trip planning tools there. Or you could explore any one of the Texas Heritage Trail regions. So anytime you come to this page, the featured region will be different. It's just a random kind of rotating thing. So Independence Trail region is featured here. Next time we come to the page, it might be the Hill Country Trail region or the Forest Trail region. Or you can kind of hover over the map, and these are all clickable. So you can jump in visually as well. We've also got some featured trip ideas, historic downtowns, lodging. These are just a few, but you can scroll left and right to go through there. There's some road trips, but that's another fun way to kind of look around the site. We always feature an event that's coming up. If you didn't know, it's the centennial of Route 66 this year. And Route 66 runs through our Texas Plains Trail region up in the very northern part of the Panhandle. And so we're featuring the Route 66 Festival that's going to be held in just like a week or so over the course of the next couple of weeks up in Amarillo. To kind of accompany that, we also have a blog post that we feature that these are always rotating as well, where you can learn about ranching heritage in the Texas Plains Trail region. The Texas Historical Commission actually has an app that you can download in both Apple and Google Play. It's the Texas History Navigator. So there are all kinds of things. There's landmarks, interactive maps. If you love to read historical markers, you can find them on a map. You can find them by topic, and you can get that information through the app. Lots of great information here, so we encourage you to download that. We have partnered with Texas Parks and Wildlife to create the Texas Buffalo Soldiers Heritage Trail. This is a brand new product for us. And so we are hosting that website for them on Texas Time Travel. So you can learn more about them here. And we work very closely with several other state agencies that are involved in Texas. So Travel Texas, of course, which is the main promotional entity in the state, Texas Parks and Wildlife, Texas Department of Transportation, the Commission on the Arts, and then, of course, our Texas Heritage Trail regions. So more navigation down here at the bottom. Much of it is similar to the one at the top. All of THC's socials are down here. You can request travel guides that can be sent to you here. You can sign up for our monthly Heritage Tourism e-newsletter here, and we hope that you do. We feature fun stories about things to see and do related to history, heritage, and culture here in the state. And we always feature at least one event from every region that you can participate in the upcoming month. Okay. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through the navigation, but I've got some pages pulled up for you here. So the next thing I wanted to show you was the landing page for the Explore by region, basically. So this is the landing page. Again, here's the hamburger menu. It's still the same. We also begin to see navigation here. So you could go up to the hamburger menu and pick a region that you're interested in exploring, or you could pick one from down here, and you've got a nice little slider that can take you to all of them. So we talk a little bit about the Trails program, and then we've got another way, again, a visual way to click into the region here. They're listed alphabetically. There's a nice picture on each one. It tells you a little bit about what you can expect to find there. Again, just to pique your interest. There's that map again. See here, we've got the Forest Trail region, which is highlighted here, but you can also choose a different one. And if that's not enough to help you out, you still don't know what to do, you can start here. You can go to our events calendar. You can go to our blog. You can go to some curated itineraries that we've put together for you, or travel by theme. So it really doesn't matter. This is just a great place to start. So I'm going to show you a couple of different regions so that you can see what's the same and what's different, because they all have control over the content on their page, and they can feature essentially what they want to feature. So it can be very timely and relevant for you. So the first one I want to show is the Texas Hill Country region. And one thing I do want to point out, when you're on a regional page, the hamburger menu changes. They each have their own kind of mini navigation. Excuse me. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. So these are the things that you can find within the Hill Country region. Oh goodness, I got a cough. Hang on. I couldn't find the mute button. I'm sorry. But those same things are located down here as well. Here's a little description of the Hill Country Trail and some ways that you can plan your trip. They have some blog posts that they feature. And this one takes you to a page where it's nothing but blog posts that relate to the Hill Country region. So if you only want to learn about that region, you can do that here. They have a map where they feature certain sites. You can find them this way. You can click on those map points and it will take you to that place, which is pretty cool. And if you want to click on this site, it will actually take you to a page where you can learn about that site and their map coordinates as well. So I'll go back to here. Pardon me. So that's the Hill Country Trail region. I think that's it for this page. Yeah. So then I want to show you the Texas Plains Trail region. Same thing. They've got their own menu here. If you want to get back to the main website, you can just click this Texas Time Travel logo up here at the top, and it will take you back to the home page. Again, duplicate navigation down below. Information about the region. And they've got this plan your trip matrix here where they've got some blog posts that have fun information about state parks in the Plains Trail, or fun, interesting roadside heritage, good photo ops. Their Quanah Parker Arrow Trail, which is a really interesting project, and it speaks to their Native American heritage and more. You can learn about their partners. In this, right now they're featuring historic theaters in the Plains Trail region. So you can scroll through here and get information on each of the historic theaters that they have to offer. And again, it works the same way, or I thought it did. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. You have to click on it and you can jump to different places. So that's the regions. I do want to mention that if y'all have questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. We're going to have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. All right, the next thing I want to show you is our curated itineraries page. This is a new page that we started 2 or 3 months ago. And again, we're trying to give you ideas to explore the state and give you some um, structure on how you might want to organize your trip. So we've put together these curated itineraries. We're about to add some more. Right now, what we have are 1-day road trips. And we're about to add family travel itineraries. Those will come out next week. So come back and we're always going to be adding more. But here are some of the ones that we have for regions that are 1-day trips to get you going. We've got some more trip planning tools here that will take you to the different cultural heritage pages, traveling by theme, some of the things that are now familiar to you. So I wanted to demonstrate one of the itineraries for you. They're all more or less structured in the same way. This is 1 day in Grimes in Brazos County. So this is in the Texas Brazos Trail region. All right, and they've got you starting um, in the morning at Fanthorpe Inn State Historic Site in Anderson. And so they give you some ideas of things to do at that particular state historic site. These are organized by morning, lunch, afternoon, and an overnight typically. And usually they go from one direction to the next. So you can follow these one way or back the other way if you need to. Um, where we can, we give you some links that you can follow. This is lunch in historic downtown Navasota. From there, you'd go on to College Station to the Museum of the American GI, so you can link to it there. Um, Got to go to the Bush Presidential Library if you're in College Station. It's a great one. Then head on down into Bryan and go see the Carnegie Library, which is now their History Center. This is one of the, I don't know how many Carnegie libraries are still left in the state, but it's a really nice one.
It's also the oldest one, I believe.
Is it the oldest one? Okay.
I
All
think
right.
so.
Dinner in downtown Bryan. There are a few places that you can try there. They've gone through a really nice renaissance in downtown Bryan. There's a lot to see and do down there. And overnight at the historic LaSalle Hotel. So you could go back to the Brazos Trail page to learn more about the region. So they're all nicely paced, and they should be something that you could do in 1 day. Now, the next one that we're doing, I believe, are 2-day road trips. And again, they're going to be focused on things to do with families with children. So come back next week. Next week I would say by Thursday, they'll be up, and you can see those as well. Okay. The next page I want to show you is our blog. Thought I had that at the top. I'm sorry. So we call it Tales from the Trails. And we actually have 2 subpages here. We've started a quarterly series called our Storyteller series, where we present to you the collectors, curators, characters, and culture keepers of Texas. So they're not many. We've just started this. But we've got Dr. Andrea Roberts, whose work with the Texas Freedom Colonies is known around the country. Tom Perini, who owns Perini Ranch in Buffalo Gap. That's a great one. We also have Larry Callies, who's with the Black Cowboy Museum in Rosenberg. And then a road trip in Denison where they interview Donna Dow, who is the Main Street manager there in town. So always check back for more stories. We're looking to add more of those, and we'd welcome your suggestions if you've got some folks that might be good to interview. We also feature some undertold history. These are the stories that you wouldn't have gotten in history class at school, and we really like to feature those when we can because Texas has got such a rich history and so many different stories, and we're just barely scratching the surface on those. I love this quote. It's from a book I read, A Past We Forgot That We Need to Know. So here's how you can be in the room where it happened by exploring some of these undertold history stories. And here are just a few of them. We've got Latino civil rights, Dan Moody defeating the Ku Klux Klan. Let me see if I can cough again. I'm sorry.
I'll just say how much we
Okay.
appreciate you persevering through this, Sarah.
Uh,
Bronchitis has gotten us all.
it's no joke. I'm on a interesting cocktail mix of drugs right now, so hopefully they start to work soon. Um, all right, back to our main blog page. Goodness, I'm gonna have to do this again, y'all. I'm sorry. Hang on. Okay, let's try this again. We always feature our 4 or 5 most recent posts up here at the top. So there's some of these I need to add back to those other undertold history pages. But these are some of our recent ones. Those will change again starting next week. We'll have some more. Sorry. Okay, it's happening. Hang on. Okay. So you could actually search by category if you're interested in a certain thing. Like here, I want to search for historic places to eat and drink. Excuse me. So these blog posts all mention places around the state where you can get a good meal or have a fun beverage while you're there. Okay. You can also search by keyword. So if I wanted to find out about, um,
Flowers.
yeah, wildflowers. Okay, there you go. Celebrations that have to do with flowers, cemeteries where you can find beautiful flowers, all kinds of things. So plein air painting landscapes. So the sky's the limit. We have lots of different topics for you there. All right. So I wanted to show you kind of some buckets of blog posts that we like to do. I've got those pulled up as well. So this one is a seasonal story that just came out in April. Texas in Bloom, Wildflower Roots, and Spring Celebrations. So we talk about wildflowers, and then we've got several that were coming up in April of this year. So this will be one that we probably redo next spring. But you can see kind of the range of flowers that we have all over the state. And then we have one that is more of a cultural story. This is about Asian American heritage in Texas. So we provide you with some background about Asian Americans in Texas and when and how and why they came to the state. Um, sorry, y'all. Uh, so a lot of background here, but then we provide information on places where you can find this history if you want to want to go see it firsthand. Using some suggested itineraries. So here's some in the DFW area. Buddhist temples, places to eat, museums with Asian American heritage. There's several in Houston and even El Paso, which may come as a surprise to some of you. Those are some of my favorite ones, and some in Austin and San Antonio as well. And then we have one that's, or many that are undertold histories. This is another recent one that we did earlier in March, maybe, for Women's History Month. So this is about women in Texas history who have provided us with a wonderful legacy and who've helped us shape Texas. I love this quote by Lady Bird Johnson. Wherever I go in America, I like it when the land speaks its own language in its own regional accent. And I think we can all understand what she's talking about there. So we just go through some relatively famous and some perhaps not so Texas women who have done a lot to shape the Texas that we live in today. We find some pretty good quotes. Uh, it's not enough to swing at the ball. You've got to loosen your girdle and just really let the ball have it. Um, I would have liked to have met this woman. She sounds great. So lots of different types of people um, from across the spectrum, from politicians to athletes to musicians, activists, ranching heritage. You name it, we've got it. And the last type of post that we usually do are kind of like a top 10 or a top 5, or in the business, what we call, call a listicle, where it's a list slash article. But these are 5 West Texas escapes for a digital detox and a dose of history. So if you want to unplug, go out to the Texas Mountain Trail region. Things to do in the Big Bend area, in the park in Terlingua. Some great photography, the Chinati Mountains, Fort Davis, and the beautiful, now restored Indian Lodge. Hot Springs, lots of different ways to kind of lose yourself in West Texas and not have to be plugged in, which is a big reason why people go out there. So those are some blogs that we do for you. All right, now I want to show you our events page because I think this is a great reason to use the site and one that's frequented usually at the very top of our rankings in our Google Analytics. People come here a lot. So let's see, let's jump down here. We also feature some annual heritage events. We can go over there. And these are broken up by season. So some spring heritage events. And again, you can scroll through. Hmm. Summer heritage events. These, for example, will take you to the official website and just give you some more information about that particular event. and why it's important fall um, and winter. For those of you who work at organizations in Texas that host heritage events, you can actually submit them here and they will show up on our website. We give you some information about what you're going to need in the form. Here's a map to kind of help orient you so that you know what region you're in. But it walks you through everything that we need, and we provide some explanation where necessary. We allow you to categorize them and note what region they're in, provide some descriptions and a photo, um, contact information, all of that. So we would love for you to submit those events if you've got them. And those get approved by our regional executive directors. And then they show up on the calendar, which I will show you next. So if you just scroll down without doing any of the searching up here, they will show the most recent or the most current upcoming events in order. So you can scroll through here, tells you what region it's in, when it's going to be, if it's going to be multiple days like these ones, and takes you to a page where you can get more information about that particular event. Those of you who are in the Hill Country area, I would encourage you to go to, it's actually one of our projects that we're working on, Spark Places of Innovation. It's a Smithsonian traveling exhibit. It's in Kerrville right now, and it will go to 5 other communities across the state through February of next year. So this just keeps going and going, and you can go to different pages. So here, there's a number of ways that you can filter. If you only want to go to events in the Texas Forest Trail region, for example, filter, that's what it'll show you. So if you know you're going to be in Nacogdoches or Tyler or Atlanta, Palestine, any community out there in the Forest Trail region, these are the events that you could perhaps participate in. So then you can reset. It's got these handy date relevant links here. So if I want to know what's going on this weekend and I don't care where, it's got this weekend's date and it will only pull the events that show up for that choice. So today, tomorrow, next month, you can specify a date range. You can do a category. I want to go to music and culinary events. There you go. So these are the ones that have some aspect of music or culinary components to it. Or you could search by keyword, cowboys. And there's a rodeo coming up in the Plains Trail region. So this is our events calendar. It works really, really well. And we would love to have you submit your events if you're an organization that hosts events that are appropriate for this kind of site. Okay, the last thing I want to show you real quickly is we have a series of mobile tours. This is actually a microsite on this website. So again, you will have to go into the hamburger menu and click back here to get to the main website. But these are the main navigation points. We have several mobile tours by topic. They range from African Americans in Texas, the historic Bankhead Highway, German Texans, Texas Revolution and Independence, World War I and II. A few of our State historic sites actually have mobile tours of their own. And we have the Buffalo Soldier Heritage Trail here as well. There's many, many subpages, so they don't all fit here. So we've partnered with them, and we've also partnered with the Tom Lee Trail, which is based in El Paso. This actually jumps out to a separate website, so it's linked there for you. You can do it from here as well. But if you're out and about, you can pull this up on your mobile device. This website is actually what they call device agnostic, so it will move and change depending on if you're holding your phone or a tablet or a laptop or a desktop computer. It will fit nicely in there. So you can go to our mobile tours by topic here, the State Historic Site tours here, Tom Lee Trail, and the Buffalo Soldier Trail here. So let's jump out to tours by topic. So they're all listed across the top. They're also all listed here. And just this is the first one, but these tours all feature videos and maps, audio files, and some text and images. So you can listen to an audio clip about the tour. Just kind of an intro here. You can browse locations. And find them this way. And they're all over the state, so let's see what this one is. Fort Richardson State Park. So I could click on that and I get information on that particular facility. So they're all structured essentially the same way. So again, whether you're interested in a topic, a theme, a state historic site, or perhaps the Buffalo Soldiers or Tom Lee, who was a famous artist and author around the 30s and 40s and 50s, there is a trail for you. So I'm going to jump back to the home page, and then I'm also going to jump back to the presentation to go through our last couple of slides, and then I'm ready for your questions.
Oh, Sarah, before you go back
Yeah.
to your deck, you had mentioned the travel itinerary star,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
because I think we all want to know how to save an itinerary.
I think you do. So let's look at, let's pick the Forest Trail here, for example. I'm going to go to Sites and Attractions. And down below, you can also submit a site. Down below is an alphabetical list of all the sites related to history, heritage, and culture in the Forest Trail region. So if I want to go to the San Augustine Jail Museum, I just click Save, and now it says saved. I want to go to the American Freedom Museum, so I'll save that one. I want to go see Jay Gould's private railroad car. How cool is that? You can save events, you can save cities, and you can save sites. There's Babe Didrikson who pulled up her girdle. And you can do this with multiple regions. So let's pick another one real quick. Let's look at Independence.
When you say by region, does that mean it saves the lists by region?
Well, let's see, shall we? It may just save them all. So I'm looking at towns now. Oh, you don't, I thought you could save towns. My bad. I'm sorry. So it's just sites and events. So we'll go to Independence Trail sites and we'll pick a few here. I want to go to the 20th Century Technology Museum in Wharton. I want to go eat some tamales. And I want to see the Alamo. So now when I scroll back up, there are now 7 things saved in my itinerary. So I can click on that. and they're all just listed here. So they're mapped and they're listed. There they all are. So like I said, it's not a true itinerary, but it does save the things that you're interested in. So I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom so you can see, oh, it just goes into that, sorry. But you should be able to, there we go. You can email it to someone, you can print it, you can share it via link on social media or send that link to someone. So if you're planning a trip with your friend, your neighbor, your husband, your wife, your children, you can share all the places that you want to go and they can add to that list. So if I look up here, I still have my 7 places. Um, I can unsave it here. Now I have 6, or I can come up here and remove them all. So there's no saved items now, and that's very sad because we want you to have lots of saved items. But that's thank you, Lorelai, for reminding me about that. But that's what those little stars are for. So let's jump out. I think I have a couple more slides to show you, and then we're good. So again, why does this matter? What are the key takeaways for you? Is you don't have to start from scratch. We've tried to do a lot of that thinking for you and to provide you with information in several different ways to help you locate things that you're interested in more quickly. Um, and to know that Texas isn't just a place to visit, it's a place you experience. There are so many different things to see and do, and so many different first person and interactive experiences that you can have that it's really just a very special place. So what we'd like for you to do is visit texastimetravel.com. Choose a region, start planning, right? I mean, so again, Texas is a big state. We all know that. But what makes it memorable isn't the size of the state or the distance between the places, it's the stories. And those stories are everywhere, all across the 10 Heritage Trails region, waiting to be experienced in ways that are personal, meaningful, and sometimes a little unexpected. So it's the Texas Heritage Trails programs that help connect those stories all across the state, and TexasTimeTravel.com helps you turn them into an actual trip. So whether you're planning something this summer or just starting to explore what's out there, I encourage you to pick a region, follow your curiosity, maybe get lost a little and see where it takes you, because some of the best travel experiences in Texas aren't the ones you check off a bucket list. They're the ones that you discover along the way. So I would be very happy to take any questions right now.
Thank you, Sarah. That was tremendous. That was an
Thank you.
incredibly effective website. I
We
think
like
I
it.
was in awe of how effective it was and the filters that were just tremendous. So I
Good.
wanted to pitch the first question while Olivia is finding our other questions from the audience.
All right.
My question was, you mentioned the blog a couple of
Mhm.
times, and I guess my question is, why is using the blog valuable?
So it's about those stories. We actually link many of our blog posts to our e-newsletter. So that's another easy way that you can get that information. That subscribe feature that I showed you down at the bottom of the page, you'll get that in your inbox, usually the first week of every month. And we try to write those stories to do dual purpose. So they show up on the newsletter and then they'll also show up on the blog. But that's the way that we can actually get into a little bit more detail and provide you with some more instructive and inspiring information to help you plan your trip, as opposed to a listing, which is very helpful. But this is where you kind of get the background and the behind the scenes story.
Great. We have a couple questions in the chat from Elizabeth. She's wondering if you will have any itineraries planned for folks traveling with their pets. We were just
Ooh.
conveniently talking about pets right before
We
this
were,
call.
yeah. That is a great idea. We had not planned that, Elizabeth, but I think I'm adding that to the list right now. We've got our newsletter planned through August, but that doesn't mean we can't do some itineraries on pets in between now and then. So that's a great idea. Thank you. We will do that.
If anyone else has any questions, now's the time. You can either drop it in the chat or come off mute and ask Sarah yourself. Oh, we do have a question about autism-friendly locations, Sarah. That might be another option for future field tours.
Yeah, that is a great idea, and that's one thing where I will be the first to admit that we are lacking when it comes to accommodations for people with autism and just general sensory um, issues. So that's a little more challenging, but it's a challenge that we need to meet. And so I agree with you that that's something that we need to work on. So I will talk to our communications team and see what we can do to get on that.
Thank you for bringing that up, Adam. We really appreciate
It's very
you.
important.
I have a question.
hmm Hey, Pam.
Hi, Pam. I'm in the Mountain Trail region and I'm in Fort Davis. So I'm the director with the Chamber and Visitor Center. So I'm curious if I go in and do an itinerary in the Mountain Trail region and then I save that and then you showed us how we can take that link and share it.
hmm
Can we share that link on our website as an itinerary?
Yeah, you could. I mean, it wouldn't be terribly organized. It would be in the order that you save those things
Oh,
in.
right.
Um, but it could be a good starting point to build an itinerary if you wanted to actually put one together, do this in the morning, this in the afternoon, those kinds of things. But it, to get started, I don't think it's a bad idea. You would just have to be very judicious about how you save those
Gotcha.
sites. hmm
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Great question. We have a couple more in the chat. A couple of folks have asked if there's a centralized list or itinerary of historic cemeteries that they could find.
Hmm.
Or would that be a better use for the Texas History Navigator app?
That's a good point. So I think they would all be listed there. The Navigator app is kind of built using what we call our Texas History Atlas as its foundation. And so officially recognized historic cemeteries are all listed in that atlas. And so they will be very easy to find in the Navigator. We do have several historic cemeteries listed as sites on our site, on our website. Um, I mean, if you were to search cemeteries in that sites and attractions list, you could find them that way. But we don't have any specific itineraries built for historic cemeteries. That's another great idea too. But I think there's probably, if you just wanted a list, I think the Navigator is probably the way to go.
And we have put the link for the Navigator app in the chat. There are QR codes for you to use to download that free app for you and your family.
Any other questions? This is your time. Where do y'all want to go this summer?
Looks like we have some folks in the audience interested in military or military reenactment heritage.
Mm-hmm.
What's on that, Sarah?
Yep, we've got a category in the events listings for living history, and that's where that would show up. So there are a ton of reenactments that happen all over the state. I know many of those are at our state historic sites. We've got several historic forts that put on reenactments, and they often will happen in other places that don't belong to the THC as well. So look for those living history events, and that's how you'll find them.
Living history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. Last call for questions, folks. Okay. Looks like, oh, you got to gig 'em, Sarah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. You saw my
It's not the first one in the chat either. So we
all
got
right.
some Aggies out here.
Gig of Aggies, class of 90. All right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and thank
Okay,
y'all for
well,
for bearing with me with my coughing fits and my weird voice from time to time. I'm kind of in my Barry White, Chris Stapleton era right now. So I've got a little croakiness going on. So
Sarah, you've been tremendous. We
thank
all
you.
appreciate you, sticking through this and giving us all the incredible deets so that we can plan our Texas history, time travel adventures all summer long and, whenever we want to use this incredible resource. So we're very excited to have had you on this event this evening, and we really appreciate you. Olivia is going to be dropping some information in the chat so that you can sign up for our next webinar, and I believe she'll be able to tell you a little bit about it now.
Yes, join us on June 18th, same time, same place, Zoom, for a webinar with Sam Collins III and Ed Cotham, who are historians that specialize in the history of Juneteenth. They'll be diving into the rich history and how Texas has served as the center of that date. We look forward to seeing you there, and I'll drop the link to sign up in the chat.
And we appreciate that. And we also appreciate y'all joining us this evening, and especially for those of you who have been supporting us throughout our virtual event series. Please know that your donations help support and make this work possible. And if you haven't yet donated, please consider doing so today. It really does make an impact. Small or large, it is felt by our organization as we are a nonprofit, and we bring all of this quality programming to you for free. So we appreciate y'all. Sarah, we so appreciate you, and we hope to see all of y'all back again next month for our next virtual event.
Thank you so
So
much. I
then,
enjoyed being here.
yes, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Oh, Pam, go frogs.
I thought we could be
All right.
friends.
All right, fight starters, get out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye, y'all.
And Sarah, you feel better.
I will. Thanks.
Thank y'all.